Imagine this, it's the year 2000. You're Reed Hastings, co-founder of a tiny DVD by mail startup called Netflix. You walk into the towering headquarters of Blockbuster, the undisputed king of home entertainment. 9,000 stores, 6 billion in revenue. They own the Friday night ritual. They are the Friday night ritual. You offer them a deal. We sell you Netflix for 50 million and run your digital strategy. They laugh you out of the room. Fast forward a decade, Blockbuster is bankrupt. Netflix is worth more than 150 billion. What happened? Was it strategy? Bad timing? Corporate arrogance? No, it was biology. Welcome back to this week's episode of the Mammoth in the Room, where we explore leadership lessons that stand the test of time. I'm Nicholas Bocconi, CEO of Mammoth Leadership Sciences. And today we kick off a brand new 5-part miniseries. We call it Transform or Die, Leadership Lessons from Business Evolution. Stick with me until the end, because this story isn't just about nostalgia. It's about how dominant leaders ignore threats, how fear blocks transformation, and what it takes to evolve when your entire world is changing. So let's get into it. And I want to call this with a subheadline. I call it When the Alpha Sleeps, the Challenger Evolves. In 2000, Blockbuster ruled the home video ecosystem. They didn't just own the space, they were the space. In evolutionary terms, they held the alpha position in a stable environment. And when the environment stays stable, dominance feels like destiny. But here's the catch. Dominance breeds complacency. In their 2014 review on the evolutionary psychology of leadership, Van Vogt and Roney showed that leaders in dominant positions often underestimate novel threats and double down on preserving the current hierarchy. That's exactly what Blockbuster did. When Netflix came knocking with a plan to help Blockbuster build its online future, Blockbuster executives laughed, literally. From their perspective, Netflix was a marginal mail-order curiosity. Why would they give up a thriving business model for something like an online gamble? They couldn't see that the rules were already changing. Stick with it, because the next mistake they made is even more primal. Loss aversion, the instinct that kills innovation. By 2005, Netflix was gaining traction. By 2007, they launched streaming. And Blockbuster, they eliminated late fees and launched snack promotions. Why? Because they were terrified of losing store revenue. This is loss aversion in action. As Daniel Kahneman and Emil Tversky revealed in their foundational work on prospect theory, 1979, and again we have all the literature sources in the show notes, humans are biologically wired to fear losses more than they value gains. Losing something we already have feels twice as painful as gaining something new feels good. Blockbuster's leadership wasn't stupid. They were scared. Scared to kill the very thing that made them rich. Scared to sacrifice store revenue for an uncertain digital future. Scared to alienate franchisees, landlords, and retail partners. So instead of evolving, they froze. And evolution punishes stagnation. Meanwhile, Netflix was lean, hungry, and unburdened by legacy infrastructure. They weren't defending anything, they were exploring. And this is one of the most fundamental patterns in biology. When environments shift, explorers thrive and exploiters fail. Netflix made aggressive bets. Streaming technology, cloud infrastructure, subscription models, original content. They weren't trying to protect the past. They were building fitness for the future. In nature, fitness doesn't mean strength. It means adaptation to a changing landscape. That's what Netflix did. Blockbuster optimized for what used to work. Netflix evolved for what was coming next. And the result? One of them became extinct. The other reshaped an entire industry. Stick around, because in a moment I'll give you 3 specific leadership strategies to avoid the exact trap Blockbuster fell into. Lesson 1. Don't let dominance make you deaf. When you're at the top, your brain wants to believe you'll stay there. But research shows that dominant individuals systematically underestimate new rivals. They default to defending territory instead of scanning for change. And as a leader, you must build in humility. Ask, what threats are we dismissing right now? Where might our competitors be more adaptable than us? What truths are we avoiding because they challenge our comfort? Build a culture where uncomfortable data is welcome, not dismissed, because comfort is the enemy of adaptation. Lesson 2. Name the loss aversion. Blockbuster didn't fail to see the future. They failed to act because acting meant giving something up. Your team may do the same. Whether it's a product line, a sales channel, or a partnership, if it's familiar, your brain wants to protect it. That's loss aversion, and that's biological. But when you name it, you disarm it. Try this with your leadership team. We're not saying no because it's a bad idea. We're saying no because it threatens what's already working. Once that's out in the open, you can have that real conversation. Do we want to survive today's comfort or tomorrow's chaos? And lesson 3, build adaptive muscles before you need them. Netflix didn't pivot overnight. They spent years building adaptive capacity, teams that experimented, failed, learned, and moved quickly. In organizational theory, this is called ambidexterity, the ability to exploit what you do well and explore new possibilities at the same time. Leaders should create exploration cells inside their organization, give them space, protect them from short-term metrics. Their job isn't to be efficient, it's to evolve. Because when the environment changes, and it always does, your ability to adapt is your only real moat. Let's wrap this up. Blockbuster didn't collapse because they were lazy. They collapsed because they were human. They clung to dominance. They feared loss. They refused to adapt. Netflix won because it understood this. Dominance is temporary. Loss is inevitable. And adaptation is a choice. This isn't just about business, it's evolution. If you're a leader, ask yourself every day, are we hunting new ground or only guarding old territory? Are we choosing fitness over familiarity? Are we evolving or waiting to be excavated? Because comfort is a dangerous place to build a future on. All right, this was it for today. If you found this episode valuable, please subscribe, rate, and share with anyone who's passionate about leadership. And lastly, if you're interested in more, you can order my book. It has the same title as this podcast, The Mammoth in the Room. It offers a practical roadmap how great leaders and their teams embrace evolutionary truths for outstanding business results. And it does that in 3 sections: on people, on strategy, and on implementation. Until then, lead wisely, think critically, and don't let ancient instincts hijack your modern leadership. I'm Nicholas Bocconi, and this is The Mammoth in the Room.